Yo, it's Captain bringing you a Steam Next Fest June 2024 bonus round where we played some extra demos from the top 50 demos of the last Steam Next Fest June 2024, the summer one. I wanted to get to a lot more, but we only managed to get to 3 today. We played, so I'm gonna talk to you about them very pretty as quickly as I can and show you a little gameplay from them from the stream and just to show them off. It should be just pretty casual, quick, low production value video, so bear with me. But what did we play today? We played Pawn Planet, which is like a pawn shop simulator with weird aliens. We played Super Fantasy Kingdom, which is like a pixel city builder tower defense RTS like fusion. And we played Tiny Glade, which is a very chill, like, make your own castle, make your own cottage kind of playground. So it was they're fun 3 games, and I had a good time with them. They took a little longer than I intended, which is why we spent so long. But without further ado, let us jump into the games. I'll switch to this other. Bam! Here you go. Game 1, Pawn Planet, by developed by Gambol Games, Gambol, got there, and published by the same. This is, as I said, it's very weird. It's very psychedelic. Well, it's not super psychedelic. It has psychedelic elements. And it's just an alien pawn shop simulator. So you run your pawn shop. The aliens come in. It's goofy. It's meant to be goofy as far as I could tell. It's not super serial. They come in. It's fun. It's weird. You can, right? You could sell them things. They will sell you things. You then sell those things the next day, right? You have a rent that comes up every so often. So you're just trying to make money. I found it very easy to make money. Like, it wasn't hard. Like, you can see it tells you the estimate of the thing, so it's not like you have to guess, and it's not like you really have to, you know what I mean? You're not, you know exactly what it's worth, so you're like, all right, well, I'll just make sure I buy it under what it's worth and sell it like over what it's worth, and then you can kind of tweak that as much as you want. Like, I didn't feel like I need to do very much over or under, and I still worked out fine. Other things you can do, and then the other thing that keeps the interest up because the other things you can do. So some of these things you can repair them. Like, you can go to your little thing, and you can, let's see if I can get to that. You can go to your little thing, and you can this this is not the way to do it. You can go to your little computer, and you can update the stuff. You can buy little repair thingies for it, and then you can repair them, and they take a day to repair, and then you can sell them for a lot more, hopefully. Let me try to scan and find some. We played this game a long time, so here you go. Here's like here's the repairing. It's like you can pick these things, and some of them are like in bad condition, but then if you buy a few things, then you can put them together, put it in the machine. Probably took me about 20 years to figure it out. Put it in the machine, and it'll just take some time to do it. Here you go. You go to your computer. You can purchase stuff. You could also go to your computer, and like they'd say, hey, we're having a storage auction, and so you'd go to your computer and you'd tell it that I want to go to the storage auction, and then you go to a different planet, and you would check out the storage auction. There was like shooting sections where you would go to the computer, and it would be like, hey, you're gonna do a thing. Actually, I think you just went to the teleporter, but you would go to another planet, and you would do a shooting section and and try to get stuff that way. So there was a lot going on. And I think that's how it keeps the interest up for you. Here you go. Here's a shooting section. Oh no, that's me dying. I died in the shooty section. I didn't win. So, right, it's like all of a sudden now you're a first person shooter, right? And you're like, what is going on? Let's see if I can get to, yeah. And you're just like, it's all very simple. It's like, it's not like super polished, but it's all very functional. Like, all the buttons work the way you would expect. You can move around. Didn't have controller support, which upset me a little bit, but everything worked. Like, And now you're just shooting things. And if you win, you get some more objects that you could pawn at your shop. Let me see if I can get you the storage bidding. Here you go. So there was also like, go bid on some storage. Oh, this must be the end. And you would just bid on the storage. And apparently I didn't do it right because I purchased it. Apparently you can go in there and check all the boxes that you purchased, and I totally messed that up. I tried, I like looked at them, I didn't do anything. But in the video, in the trailer, they show you can do that. But see, you like, here, this is what it looks like. You just like bid, everybody bids that you can throw some money. But everything you do, so there's multiple things you can do to see this weird and wacky world. But it's all serving to like get you items to sell at your pawn shop so that you can make more money with them, right? It all goes back to that, the customer thing where you talk to them and you buy and sell from them. So I don't know. I didn't really have a lot of interest in playing this game. It just seemed kind of weird. I was like, I don't know, pawn shop simulator, whatever. But I actually found it pretty compelling. I was like, you know what? This loop does work. I kind of like this idea. It's like, oh, I could buy that, but then if I buy that and repair it, that'll sell really well. It's like, oh, I could go this, I could do that. You know what I mean? There was just, I don't know. You kind of get into it. It's like it's a little rough in places, with some settings, and it doesn't have many settings, and the music is like one song that just loops, and it's not a bad song, but it was driving me insane by the end, like literally insane. So it's got it's still in development, but I did find myself just enjoying the loop of it. So so there's that one. All right, we're just gonna do this live wire here. Let's do the next one. Let's do I'll switch back to my face just so I could hope maybe it'll help me do the timestamps. Will I do timestamps? I don't know, man. I'm kind of out of time for today. Let's go to number 2, which is Super Fantasy Kingdom. And this developed by Feryaz beer. I think it said at the end of this it was just like a one-man operation. So developed by, I think so, Feryaz beers, I think it's the guy's name. Published by Hooded Horse. And as you can see, you've got like this little town to manage, right? It's pretty aggressive on the tutorial in the beginning. There's a lot of like, okay, do this, do this, do this, which is good because there's actually a lot going on. So you kind of want to know that, but it was kind of hard to like get a handle on it until a little bit later once you had some things going. But so you're like building this. It reminded me of like an RTS game because you're building like a lumber yard, right? And then you're getting lumber, and then that lets you build other buildings, right? And then you build the quarry, and then you get stones. You have to build houses for villagers, and then you tell like the workplaces like how many people they're going to hire. And so if you have enough villagers, you can get them all hired in the right places, right? Right? And so now you're collecting resources. But up here, right, like the whole kind of point, like why are you building the town is because you get attacked by monsters every day. And you've got to like, and it's all like auto battles, so you get like attackers, you get little heroes, and you put them up there. It costs some money to put them up there. It might cost some resources to find them in the first place. But you put them all up there, and they take on the waves. So you've got this city building, you've got this like kind of like minor RTS thing going on, and as far as the base management part, you don't control the units in any way. And then you've got like wave defense. And then like each day the waves ramp up. And you see at the end of the day it tells you how many kills you got, tells you what's going on. And this also like levels up your dudes. You don't level up like your main dude that you start the game with, but as you collect more dudes, you level them up here, and you gotta like feed them, and you gotta have some workers employed here so they have food to feed them and whatnot. Let me see if I can advance ahead a little bit. Maybe we can see that. Here you go. So now we have a Cyclops. He's up there at the top. I kind of switched to the same scene, but I did zoom ahead. And right, there's like, he's got to eat, he's got to sit. So right now he's sitting down here, and now he's eating, and he gets a little level, right? And so then you can get to like, right, he's leveling up. I don't think he was happy about the berries. And then the day starts over. Sorry, we're jumping around here. But then the day starts over and you do more. But what was neat was there wasn't just this little town. Apparently, you can expand this town out and make it like pretty big and build this city out. But you could also like build a road up through, and at some point I zoom out, but like you can zoom out. There's like a place to explore. You see this? You see this little dungeon over here? Like if you build later, we build a road over there. Oh, we're doing it right now. You build a road over there, but you could build it to other places too. But I built it over there, and then I unlocked a new unit, and then I could, I had to buy him. It's with some of the resources I've been farming in town, and then I could put him there to help defend against the dudes. So then I had the Cyclops and my main dude, and then the little swordsman guy. So you can like you're building it out, you're exploring, you're doing all this stuff, and you're constantly trying to build your power so that you can build your defenses so that you could deal with the increasingly tough waves of enemies coming down each day. And then your goal is to see how many days you can live, right? And there's a bunch of like unlockables. There was like a ton of unlockables. I'm assuming they're unlocking you more chances to get heroes to defend yourself. It's like unlocking them in the pool. But there's also unlockable starter heroes. Like we started with this girl Celine, and it said, it was like pick from a bunch, and you only started with one. So as you play, you're unlocking more like heroes to start with that are different ways they do. You can upgrade. So it's just like it's all this like management sim, right? Wave defense. I don't know. I found it very compelling. I found this very compelling too. It was fun just to like, okay, I can level this up. All right, I gotta farm some of this stuff. I can get this. Oh, I can level this guy up. Oh, I can get a new hero. I can put him there. And I was really getting into it. Unfortunately, I didn't get too far because at some point they asked me to build a sawmill, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. You needed to expand your. I even like web searched it, and somebody asked the same question and they edited the answer in. They're like, oh, you just expand the main town and then you can get more plots to build things on. Like I figured you can click on the quarry and it'll let you build there. So I was like trying to figure out, maybe I click on some lumber somewhere. No, you apparently just have to expand the town, but I never figured out how to expand the town. So a lot of the time I spent a long time just trying to figure it out, and I just couldn't do it, which was a shame because I was really getting into the game. I really wanted to see what it was like as you explored out and stuff. It was pretty cool. But I don't know. I think I'm just dumb or something because the search didn't yield many results, and there wasn't like a lot of people answering. And I didn't get the feeling it was just because it's a demo and not as many people are playing it. It seemed like people weren't answering because they didn't have the problem. Like I found other people having problems, but it was much later on, and I was like, well, they obviously figured it out, and I didn't. So I don't know. I enjoyed it a good bit. There was a lot to do. I enjoyed the mashup of all the kind of different genres together and how they all fed into each other a little bit. So I had a good time with that one. That was Super Fantasy Kingdom, developed by Feryaz Beer and published by Hooded Horse. All right, let's. All right, in the hopes of doing a timestamp here, we'll come back here. The third game that we played today, and the final game. This hasn't gone as fast as I thought it would. Well, hope you're enjoying it. The third and final game was Tiny Glade, which I needed after all that. Because I was kind of stressed. Tiny Glade. Let me get you a little earlier here. Let me get you like before I built anything. Tiny Glade, developed by Pounce and published by Pounce. And this game is just I mean, there's no timers, there's no combat, there's no like fail states. It's just a very simple and chill little building game where you can kind of zone out and build like a little castle. You can build a little cottage. The demo is just that small circle, but they did make a point of saying, in the full game, you'll have much bigger areas. You'll have, different kinds of tile sets to work with and stuff. Like we're in the forest here, but they had different ones. And some of the things they show on like their Steam page are like which hopefully I'll have all these linked below. I should. It's the you know, they showed pictures of like people building big castles or like whole villages and stuff. Like it seems like you can really go for it. Um, and the tools they showed, I will say this game, the demo, from what I've seen, the demo, this game nails it because, and it's hard because I can't really show you in the gameplay because a lot of it, well, you could see it, but a lot of it's like sounds and stuff and feel. Because really, what you're doing is just building with blocks, right? So, you know, how do you make that compelling, you know, as a game experience? Well, you make it really, really satisfying to put in place and play with the blocks. And they did it. Like everything had these nice little natural, so very, you know, to stay calming and fun, just natural sound effects as you're mousing around, as you're clicking on things. The things have so many little things you can deal with, as you can see here. But and there's little sheep you could pet and play with. But as if you notice, like the little animations and little objects popping up, the little natural clutter and stuff, um, the way they did it is no matter how far you are always working at a finished state, right? So if you're building with blocks, or you know, maybe you're playing with Legos or something, when you start out, it's not done, right? You don't really have anything until you get done building. And so there's this labor process of building, and then you're satisfied when you're done. Well, the way they did this game is they wanted it to be fun, and how you do a game like this, in my thought, right? How you make this really, really satisfying and compelling, and like a 3D building block version of like a coloring book, where it's just satisfying just to do it. Everything you do feels good. Um, is you don't like wait to be done before it's done. Like you're done from the very first bit because you're always playing. When you put a tiny wall there, it grows vines and it looks like it's meant to be there. You put a little house there and it like does all the little clutter and everything and it's done. So now you have a finished just a little house. And then you put a little more in it. You draw a path through the house and it like naturally puts the doors there. It naturally puts like little things around it. So no matter what, no matter how little you've done, like all the finishing is accomplished for you. So you are just doing the little building block, but then the game is going in doing all like the modeling, the rendering, the lighting, the extra effects, the clutter, the colors. Like so it's just no, so you just always have like this nice little diorama. No matter how little or how much you've done, it's all doing it for you, and you get to, and it's very satisfying to like watch the vines grow, you know, and and see like the clutter pop in and pop out. You could change some colors. You could. They had like the dynamic thing where you saw me a little earlier. I put like one window in, and then you put another window next to it. It makes like a double window, and then you can go all the way to three windows, and it makes like a little curve, right? So it's there's nothing ever stops you. It's never like, oh, you can't put that here because something else is there. It just makes it work. It just makes it happen. It just right. It's always finished state. So whenever you're doing something, it's just constantly finishing it for you, and it's very satisfying and very nice. And so you get this little diorama to play with here, but it was really inspiring to see some of the stuff they showed off that was going to be in the late game or in the full game, to be just like, yeah, I could just sit down and build a whole city if I wanted to. Just just slowly work and build my whole city and feel good. I could build a crazy castle and have fun with that. All the locks and stuff you see are demo locks. Is the intention behind that? As far as I know, it's not like unlock things as you play the game. It's just it's like, hey, these aren't in the demo. All right. Is there anything the probably the I wonder if I can get to like maybe the coolest thing that I saw was like you could oh see here you go. You can like maybe I can show you just right, you just drag the path through the wall and it just makes like a little column, a little hole for you. It has some nice undo buttons, redo, which is quite simple. There you go. I have an arch now. I want to show you can actually elevate the ground. Yeah, here we go. You can elevate the ground, and so now you can make a hill. Let's see if I can get it right before the hill. Yeah, so you could just start like terrain morphing which was pretty cool. And then it functioned just like everything else did. So you could start moving the terrain up and down and make it wider or steeper, right? And it would just naturally put like stairs, right? Because now it's up higher, so it naturally puts stairs on your door. Because that made sense. It was just, this game was very pleasing and very fun and very polished. Just like everything you did was just really satisfying. That's the best thing I can say about it. They made it so everything you do is just really satisfying. It was very fun to just play with the blocks and do stuff. I mean, look at this! Look how cool that is. Now we're on a hill. All right, but that's probably enough. I might have to finish this video tomorrow or something, but that's probably enough. So I'm gonna bring you back here. Those were our 3 games. Those were our 3 games. It was fun. It was fun to get a little extra in. Get a little extra for Next Fest in. Had a good time. This Next Fest was really good. There's still more on the top 50. Those are the ones we played today. As a reminder, we played Pawn Planet by Gambol Games, which was the Pod Shop Simulator. We played Super Fantasy Kingdom by Feryaz Beer, which was the town city builder wave defense. And we played Tiny Glade, which is the one you just saw by Pounce, which is just a build your own castle, build your own cottage kind of thing. It was a great time, and I was glad we got to do some bonus. I feel like I need to do like 10 more bonus demo streams because there was a bunch more I wanted to play and still had demos up. So check them out if you missed Next Fest. These demos, at least, were all here today. I don't know if they're going to be here tomorrow. They're not guaranteed anymore once Next Fest is over. But there is a surprising amount that are still up. You can search Steam for the Next Fest page, kind of browse it that way. I had trouble finding the top 50, but you could search for that too. Next Fest top 50, maybe you find it. But that's what we got for today. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Hopefully you found one of these attractive or interesting. Put it on your wish list or whatever. Looking forward to it. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.